As the U.S. election draws closer, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are ramping up their efforts, each presenting contrasting messages to win over voters. Both candidates held major events recently, reflecting their campaign strategies and priorities. Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden in New York City garnered considerable media attention. The event included speeches that drew criticism for controversial remarks. Among the speakers was comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, who made a statement about Puerto Rico, calling it a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean. The comment led to swift backlash on social media and from political leaders. Trump's campaign responded, with senior advisor Danielle Alvarez clarifying that the joke does not reflect the views of President Trump or the campaign. Meanwhile, Vice President Harris's campaign focused on Puerto Rico through the launch of the Puerto Rico Opportunity Economy Task Force, aimed at fostering economic development and job creation for the island. Puerto Rico, home to over 3 million American citizens, has faced significant challenges since Hurricane Maria struck in 2017. Harris addressed supporters at a rally in Pennsylvania, a key swing state, and later visited a Puerto Rican restaurant as part of her outreach to the state's nearly 500,000 Puerto Rican residents. In a video posted after her visit, Harris stated, "I will never forget what Donald Trump did and did not do when Puerto Rico needed a leader." Harris's campaign seized the opportunity to underscore what they see as a stark difference between her policies and Trump's recent rally rhetoric. In a social media post, she highlighted her new plan for Puerto Rico's future, while contrasting it with Trump's rally, where, she noted, Puerto Rico was disparaged. Harris's spokesperson, Kevin Munoz, described the contrasting events as a split screen, calling the comments at Trump's rally unfortunate. Republican leaders also responded to the controversial joke about Puerto Rico. Florida Senator Rick Scott commented, "This joke bombed for a reason. It's not funny and it's not true," voicing disapproval of the remark. It's worth noting that while Puerto Ricans living on the island cannot vote in the general election, they can participate in presidential primaries, adding an extra layer of relevance to these issues within the campaigns. However, the Puerto Rico remark was not the only controversial part of the rally. Hinchcliffe's set included other remarks, targeting various groups, including Black voters and Latinos. At one point, he joked about Latinos, making comments about cultural stereotypes. Additional speakers at the rally also targeted Harris directly, referring to her as the Antichrist and the devil. Businessman Grant Cardone made a suggestive comment, implying that Harris and her team would harm the country. Former Fox News host Tucker Carlson joined in, using racially charged terms and suggesting that Harris, who has a multicultural background, was not suited for leadership. In his speech, Trump reinforced familiar themes from his previous campaigns, addressing issues related to immigration. Referring to his opponents as the enemy from within, he promised that if re-elected, he would implement what he called the largest deportation program in American history. His remarks on immigration framed the situation as a migrant invasion, describing the U.S. as an occupied country and pledging swift and decisive action on immigration matters. In addition to his stance on immigration, Trump announced a new proposal for a tax credit aimed at supporting family caregivers. While the announcement received a positive response from his supporters, Trump's rhetoric on immigration and his characterization of some issues dominated the rally. The former president also addressed economic concerns, citing high grocery prices as a key frustration among Americans, despite inflation having recently shown signs of cooling. Trump's speech at Madison Square Garden was billed as the launch of his campaign's final push toward Election Day. As part of this message, Trump's team emphasized their candidate's resilience and determination, framing his comeback as an extraordinary feat in modern political history. Trump's rally also featured other well-known figures who reiterated some of his core messages, with discussions of past controversies, criticisms of other political figures, and messages aimed at energizing his base. The rally atmosphere was charged, with supporters voicing a mix of grievances, humor, and criticism aimed at opponents. Harris was frequently mentioned, as were other prominent figures, including former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Trump's campaign aims to mobilize a significant turnout among his base, hoping to attract voters who may feel disengaged from the usual political process, but resonate with his message. For the Harris campaign, The Puerto Rico initiative was part of a broader message of inclusivity and economic empowerment. Harris has consistently focused on issues affecting minority communities, aiming to address both historical and present-day challenges. Her proposal for Puerto Rico aims to create sustainable development, support small businesses, and expand economic opportunities for residents of the island. During her speech, Harris spoke on the need for equitable disaster response policies, a theme her campaign has highlighted in the past. As she continues to court voters in key states, her campaign's message focuses on a vision of economic support and resilience, contrasting with what her team describes as Trump's more divisive rhetoric. Both campaigns are using these final days to define the stakes of the upcoming election. Trump's focus on strong rhetoric and promises of change reflects his approach to energizing his core supporters, while Harris is aiming to appeal to moderate and undecided voters by presenting a more inclusive and steady vision for the country. While each candidate's strategy differs, both have managed to capture significant public attention. As Election Day approaches, voters are faced with two markedly different visions for the country. Trump's promise to overhaul immigration policies and enforce stricter measures on the border is a key aspect of his platform. Conversely, Harris has focused on addressing economic disparities and promoting inclusive policies that, she argues, would benefit all Americans. The race for the White House has thus become a reflection of these two differing viewpoints. Trump's continued emphasis on themes of national security and sovereignty is aimed at voters who are concerned about immigration and economic challenges, while Harris's focus on inclusive growth and equality is intended to appeal to those seeking systemic reforms and support for minority communities. Both campaigns are expected to hold additional rallies and events as the countdown to Election Day continues. Each candidate's strategy reflects their unique priorities and perspectives, with Trump aiming to rally his core supporters, while Harris seeks to appeal to undecided voters and independents. In the final days leading up to the election, Trump and Harris will continue to make their cases to the American people, each hoping that their message resonates with enough voters to secure a victory. What do you guys think about it, and who do you support? Write your answers in the comment box, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. See you guys in the next video.